Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. I'm gonna do my first DaVinci Resolve video for you guys. I wanted to show you how I color grade my videos, and I call this the poor man's grade. Now the reason why it's a poor man's grade is because I want the quickest output because I need to export videos to my YouTube channel. If you're going to go into the color grading hemisphere, you might be in like for a big wild surprise of sitting there for weeks trying to perfect a look that you can already achieve the way I'm going to show you today. But before we go into how to do a poor man's color grade, I want you to know that I use a Pocket Osmo 3, okay? But I also use something very special with this camera, and that is a filter, okay? Let me explain to you what this is. I'm sure you've heard about ND filters. ND is neutral density, okay? It neutralizes the image, so it's going to neutralize the light. When you have your Pocket Osmo or any camera that you have, there's a train going by, don't mind the sound. It doesn't come with an ND filter. So the sun that goes into this lens, it's going to most likely overexpose the footage. Okay, so this is why you need an ND filter. Okay, it's darkened. Okay, it's going to add contrast to the midtones and the dark levels. And it does one thing that a lot of people might not know about, but ND filters actually soften the image. Okay, when you have this standalone camera without an ND filter, you're going to get a digital look. Okay, so this little guy is actually my color correction buddy. It does basically all the hard work for me. Let me explain. Oh, lastly, there's a rotating ND filter. Don't buy these, okay? Because while you're shooting during the day, this might rotate. It might change the balance, and you'll be stuck trying to figure out that balance in color correction. These are called solid NDs, okay? One solid color. This one's an ND32. That would be the strongest I would use. My go-to is ND16. And if it's not such a bright day, I actually like using ND8. Okay, so there you have it. All right, so let's get back into the color correction here real quick. Now, if you don't know what this is Davinci. Now, you may not know this. I do train people. I do one-on-one Davinci course. I find that more engaging. It's more exciting for the user who wants to learn how to edit. Let's go to the editing tab here. Okay. Who wants to learn how to do a proper audio mix. Okay. I teach all this stuff. And how to color correct, which is right here. Okay. So I want to show you guys something real quick. These little clips here, these are all the clips in the timeline. So I'm going to actually just go to the back. Okay, let's go to the back here. Now, I want to show you this shot. Okay. Now you have to understand that the ND filter is doing all the work. Let me explain. You can see the sky, how clean it is. The ND filter just cut off that sky. It's beautiful. It's one color. The white parts in the image are not blown out, and the contrast in the blue is all there. So you can already see that my color correction is already done. Okay. This is one thing that a lot of people don't understand. Now, I also there is another thing I would guys want you to understand. The only reason why you would do a hardcore color correction is if you're making a movie, a car commercial, music video, any type of ads. They require that because usually they shoot them on very professional cameras, and they kind of want to have an effect to their, to their video. But with vlogging, what you want to do is try to make sure that it's real life. This is why I use a poor man's color grade, because I do not need to push the limits of a vlog. If you want to have that, then you're going to go down this barrel of learning how to color grade log footage, which I do teach. But if you're a vlogger and you want to start vlogging, your whole mission is to export as many videos as you can. So what to do is to reduce their very heavy workload of color grading. And as you can see, let's go back with my camera, the Pocket Osmo 3, and just with an ND16. How beautiful is that? All the skin is nice. The blues are coming out. You can see all the color here and whatnot. Okay. The job's done, guys. This is what you might not know, but I will show you the poor man's color grade because I do want to boost these colors. I do want to emphasize on some certain things like you should do for your videos. So let's get into that. First off is that when you do your color grade, this will be empty. Okay. Now, right here, it says clip. Okay. When you go to clip, that means that you're going to color grade each single clip on its own. Okay. What we want to do is go here to timeline. And what this is going to do, I'm going to make a new node, right click, corrector. Okay. Input to the corrector, and output to the viewer. Okay. What you're going to do now is we're going to correct this one scene, and it's going to correct the entire timeline. Okay, this is the poor man's color grade, guys. So let's get into that. This is a node. There is zero information. If I turn it on and off, you'll notice that the image at the top is not doing anything. That's because there's no information. Where does information come from? It comes from this panel. Let me just give you an example. Right here, it says color boost. So let's color boost it right up to like 87. Now, if I turn it on and off, you can see that here's the original and here's the node with the color boost information. Okay. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be blowing it up that big. Okay. So what I want to do is I just want to raise the color boost a little bit to about maybe, well, let's just go to 50. Okay. For now, 50. All right. Now, shadows, we don't want to touch shadows and we don't want to touch highlights. Okay, leave it as that because the camera, you can see that the shadows and the highlights are great. They don't need any type of moving at all. What we might want to do, however, is desaturate a little bit of the footage. So it was at 50, so now I'm going to just bring it down to 40. You leave the hue. Okay, hue is like for changing like this kind of like the LSD kind of look. Okay, so we don't want to do that. Was that at 50 or was that at? Yeah, that's right. It was at 50. Okay. Luma mix. This will just mix the hue. Okay, we don't want that. Now, this mid detail is for sharpening. Okay, so if remember I said that the image is already soft. That's from the ND filter. Okay. So if you're sharpening, you don't want to go heavy. Okay. You don't want to bring in that digital look. So what we want to do here is just bring it up to like 5. Okay, just a little bit of sharpening. This gray pivot point, okay, this is for curves, okay? We don't need to do too much, but what I like to do is actually bring it down to 370. It's kind of like my go-to right there. Now, contrast, we want to bring in just a little bit more contrast, so even 1.2, you can see it's getting really harsh. Yeah, so you're going to bring it to 1.1, okay, around there. Now, tint, you can see here, there's blue and orange. So if you want it more red, you go to the orange. If you want it more cool, if you want it cooled off, you go there, okay? So what I want to do is I just want to cool it off a little bit to about there. And I'll go back to my tint. And I'm going to add in a little bit of green, not too much. Yeah. So now when we turn it on and off, actually, let's go full screen so you can see. That's on, that's off. This is the original footage. And this is my pumped up color. You can see her dress, how it's popping out now. And all the colors like here, green and whatnot. Now, I didn't do too much, okay? I didn't do too much. Now, we could go into some of the finer details here. Zoom in. That green here. Go into the gamma, okay? Gamma is the midtones. Okay, so let's go to gamma and let's raise the green a little bit. You can see it says 0 here. That's how it was before. If you just go to 1, there's big differences. Here's 3. Okay, so I'm going to bring it just to 1. That's it. These reds, I'm going to bring down to -1. The blue, let's see, 2 blue, more green. So no. So -1, 1, 1. Just these little tiny little factors playing in. I mean, see these numbers, how they're moving? I can also do it by moving this little point inside, okay? You can do it like that. Personally, I'm gonna reset this with this wheel. I like using these because I just want to get on the reds, bring that up a little bit. Bring the green down. I brought it up here, going to blue, and introduce some more reds in that blue. Okay, the offset, if you move it around, you can see you can change a whole bunch of colors. Let's reset that. This red, okay, I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. This green, bring that down. And you can see when I'm doing this is that I am just using my eye, okay? That's it. Let's go to the black levels. Here's the blue. We're gonna leave it at 0. 1. And introduce some more of that red here. Okay. Now we'll see the final. Here's the color boosted. And there's the original. Big difference. Okay, so why is it called a poor man's color grade? Well, because your camera and the ND filter does all the work for you. Your job now is to pop up the color so it's a bit more vibrant. Okay. Now we can turn it off right here, on and off. Okay, that's how you do it. But that's not how I do it. Right here, this thing called key output, it says 1. That's full color grade. Now watch, if I click and I slide it down, it brings me back to the original footage. Slide it back up, color graded, slide it back down, original. Even if I turn this on and off, it has no effect anymore to this image because it's at 0. So what we want to do is just zoom in here real quickly. And what we want to do is introduce some of those colors back in. Look at that, 0.3. The full node was at 1. Okay, that's the full. See how it's really blown out to the color boosting. And what we want to do is go back to the original, which is 0. And then what we want to do is kind of scrub around and just get into the area where I feel comfortable with it. And I think, you know what, it's going to be about 0.6, about half of the node. And there you have it. Guys, this is the poor man's color correction. Okay. Before, after. Okay. Just a nice little pop, bringing those skin tones, really pump out those greens. Okay. The sun is out, guys. So this, I put that red in there. And of course, the dress. Let's go to some other shots. Remember I said that this is on timeline here. It's color correcting the entire thing. So let's go to a new clip. Here we are. Here's a nice, beautiful lady. Okay. Original. On. Okay. Now the reason why they look alike and why the color grade works for every single shot is because I'm using an ND filter and my Pocket Osmo is set to video mode. So it's always shooting the same color profile, and I got an ND filter, guys. So, oops. Before, after. Look at the pink dress, how it pops right out. Okay. There you have it, guys. If you like to learn how to color correct the poor man's way, or color correct professionally, or you want to learn how to edit, and you want to learn how to do audio mixes, if you want to learn how to do special effects, you can join my Telegram group, which is in my YouTube description. Come in there. There's like 16 of us. We're working on our YouTube channels, and I'm teaching some people how to edit. And my course, my training course, one-on-one, is not expensive. I am not a globalist. I'm not going to be selling a product, nothing like that. It's better to sit down with an editor, and both of us, we go out together, and I'll show you how to use this entire system. And that's a nice and fun way for you to get started on your channel. Okay, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.